Feel the sun and watch it work, seeds of joy in every row. Come on down, we'll show you how what's fresh and green is growing now. At Bob's Market, we've got it all, from garden dreams to greenhouse halls. Catch the buzz, catch the show, where the best of the season grows. Tomatoes ripe, peppers bright, tips for keeping blooms in sight. Let's make your backyard glow. Tools and plants, advice for free. Bob's is where you want to be. At Bob's Market, we've got it all, from garden dreams to greenhouse halls. Catch the buzz, catch the show, where the best of the season grows.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Bob's Live, our weekly show right here on the internet. And, well, this week I have kind of a short show for us. We're kind of moving into fall gardening, and I thought I would take you out to the greenhouse to show you what we have growing right now, because this time of year we're kind of in a transition period. The fall products are starting to kind of wind down, but we're also starting to grow things for not only the upcoming holiday season, so poinsettias, but we're also already starting to prepare for next spring. So in this episode, you're going to see one of the first crops for next spring that actually gets planted right now. So let's jump right in and see what's happening out in the greenhouse. Today I am out here in the greenhouse where we have a beautiful carpet of fall color here behind me. So let's check it out, and let's check out some other stuff that we have growing in the greenhouse right now. So this time of year, we're growing fall pansies. And of course, you can plant them now. They'll survive through the winter and into the springtime to give you color sort of on the shoulders of both seasons, sort of late fall and then also early springtime. And we have simply a huge selection of color that is shipping out to our wholesale customers and then also to our stores, but we're also growing multiple batches. So back here you can see the batch that we're currently pulling from, and then these will start to bloom here in the next couple weeks. So I can already see like some early bloomers right there. That little guy's an overachiever, I guess. And back here in this section of the greenhouse, we have next year's fern crop. So yeah, these little teeny tiny plants right here behind me are next year's fern hanging baskets. So they start off right now as little baby plants, and it takes from now until May for them to be ready. Okay, so I just did some quick back of the napkin math. Each flat here is 32 plants. Each square that you see is 50 flats, and it comes out to 59,936 is the total plants that I got. And each one of those plants will be transplanted into a hanging basket. So this year, we're going to be right around 60,000 fern hanging baskets. And for comparison, last year we were somewhere around 57,000. And the year before that, we were around 55,000. So, yeah, we are
growing in our number of ferns each year. Also out here in the greenhouse, we've got cold weather veggie crops like broccoli, cauliflower, and kale. And then we also have ornamental cabbage and kale. So those are all things that you can still be planting right now. If you've got a cold frame or something like that, that's definitely great. Also, snapdragons are somewhat frost resistant, so you can be planting those now too. And then down on this end of the greenhouse, we have some marigold pots, and then also some late season chrysanthemums. So these both make options for great color this time of year. Of course, marigolds, if you have kind of a frosty night, you want to make sure you take them inside. That's why we have them in pots. But yeah, mums are a great choice this time of year. And that's a quick look at what we have growing out here in the greenhouse. Next week, I'm going to head uptown so we can check out this year's poinsettia crop. It's been a while since we've seen them. The last time they were just little baby cuttings, and now they're starting to fill out and get big, and pretty soon their color is going to start changing as the days get shorter.
Alright, so that's what's happening in the greenhouse right now. And like I said, next week I'm going to head up so we can check out this year's poinsettia crop. And yeah, the last time we saw them, they were just little tiny cuttings back in June. So since then, they've grown a little bit. They've got transplanted, trimmed so they bush out more, and then moved up to our uptown location. Carol in the chat says, what can I put in hanging baskets now? So there's a few different options for hanging baskets right now. Of course, we're heading into fall, and we're just a couple weeks away at most from the first frosts of the year. All right. Okay, I think we're back now. Okay, yeah, it looks like maybe our internet connection might have dropped out for a second. Anyhow, back to hanging baskets and what you can plant in hanging baskets right now. So, I said snapdragons. I'm stumbling over my words. Snapdragons make a great choice. Marigolds. Pansies even. So, right now at my house, I have a big mum in a container with pansies planted around the perimeter of it. Of course, the mum's going to die back. The pansies will survive a little bit longer. For me, that container is too big for me to move. I was actually power washing the front of my house over the weekend, and I needed to move that container. It's like a big wash tub. It weighed like 1,000,000,000 pounds. So yeah, different plants like that. Also, a fun choice might be to consider houseplants. So you could plant a houseplant right now that you could take out during the daytime, bring in at night, and then eventually transition to having it inside throughout the winter. So this time of year is a great time to experiment with things like that. Yeah, so up next, let's take a look at the weather forecast, because right now it is 76 and sunny out. It is a beautiful day outside. And looking at the long-term forecast, we are back into another stretch of dry weather. So we had some rainy weather previously. It looks like we're going to have dry weather up to like Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. Looks like our next chance for rain. Yeah, I've been preparing at home. In my 3-car garage in the middle, I have an oil change pit. I had just got ready to paint it with dry lock, and we had all that rain. And the reason why I'm painting it with dry lock is because it kind of leaks at the bottom of the pit. So I have a sump pump in there, but I'm hoping to kind of seal it to where I don't need the sump pump. And yeah, of course, I get ready to do that. We get rain. Again, it starts water seeping into the bottom of the pit. So I'm hoping that we have enough of a dry stretch right now that I can get in and get that project done. But yeah, so we've got some dry weather right now. It's a great time to get out in your garden and do fall cleanup. So removing things like your old plants, getting them in the compost pile. If you've still got the remains of corn, cutting it down makes corn shocks, great decoration for fall. Or if you're like me, this time of year in my rose section of my garden, I just make a giant pile of stuff that I don't want to compost, and then I have a nice little bonfire, a nice chilly fall night. So yeah, it's a great time to do that. That rain coming up next week, rainy evening might be a good time to work on your garden tools and getting them sharpened and oiled and ready to go into storage for the upcoming winter. So that's another video that I'm going to have coming up, is getting garden tools and, like your rototiller, your lawnmower, stuff like that, getting them winterized, cleaned up, and ready for winter. So yeah, that is about all that I have for this week. Of course, check out our podcast. It's one, well, I need to qualify it. It's one usually on Saturday mornings. New episodes drop at 8 a.m. on Saturday mornings and kind of cover the gardening week ahead. Since we're heading into wintertime right now, for October through probably March, we're going to be doing once monthly episodes on gardening tasks, because let's be honest, there's not that much to do outside in the garden during the middle of winter. So we're going to kind of do one episode covering gardening tasks at the beginning of the month, and then kind of in the middle of the month, we're going to do an episode where we'll dig a little bit deeper into a gardening topic. So we're going to be doing that during the winter time, and then once we get back into spring next year, then we'll go back to weekly episodes where we cover the gardening tasks for the week ahead and also the weather forecast. So head over and check that out. I know I listen to a bunch of podcasts. I have about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour drive every day. So I tend to listen to stuff while I'm driving. But yeah, that is all that I have for this week's episode of Bob's Live. And yeah, next week, well, I did have a calendar right here behind me. Next week is Green Career Week. So we're going to be reaching out to schools in the area and also sharing on our social media different job aspects or career aspects of the greenhouse and horticultural industry. So keep an eye out on Facebook. We'll be doing posts associated with Green Career Week. And, well, until next time, keep growing.
At Bob's Market, we've got it all, from garden dreams to greenhouse halls. Catch the buzz, catch the show, where the best of the season grows.